So, if any of you are having trouble with this project, I totally get it. I just feel like the first time someone had me do a self-portrait, it was actually one of the most painful journeys of self-discovery. I was just like, are you kidding me? My nostrils are different sizes. I figured out that I think my ears like sit a little differently. And well, I'm not telling you this to stress you out. I'm just telling you that I think it's awkward. It's awkward for almost anybody to look at themselves and then to sort of take in that information about ourselves and that we can never really be objective. But one of the things that I'm wanting to show you is that I'm going to work with this image that we have been discussing a little bit. And I have this like awesome looking highlight in this eye, but I don't have it in the other eye. And so what I am going to try to do is try to fudge that a little bit. Also, because I used my cell phone, it's kind of like made it so that I don't really have a neck. I may go in and edit that a little bit as well. It just depends on what we have time to do. Okay, so I'm going to set this over to the side where I can see it and reference it. But also, I just want to remember that I already have a picture of myself. So what I want to do is create a drawing that I find interesting. So I'm going to start out with that oval shape that we talked about before. Just nice and loose. And I might even be doing this slightly lighter if it wasn't for the fact that we're drawing together right now. Okay. So we're going to put in the line for the eyes. All right, and we're going to put in that center axis. Probably about where our brows are going to run. So that this is 1/3, this is 1/3, and this is 1/3. We're probably going to actually bring up the top of the head just a little bit more. Okay, so now we have to sort of set a position for the eyes. Maybe going to try something like that. And one thing you can do if you're feeling like you're just not sure is just take a ruler and see. I've got about 1 inch right there. I've got a little over 1 inch right there. And I have a little bit further than 1 inch between my eyes. For me, when I look here, 3/4. Okay, interesting. I've never done that before. They always say that there's about 1 eye's worth of space between the eyes. Some people have them set a little bit farther, some people have them set a little bit closer. On the side, there's between, depending on how you're looking at the face, between 1/2 an eye and a full eye's worth of space out here on the side. So from here, if this is the corner of the eyes, I can just roughly sketch this down. And that is going to be the approximate width of the nose. If this is going to be the center of the eye, then that is going to be approximately the width of the mouth. That might not be as true for me, depending on what happens as we draw together. It's a hard thing, right? So like proportion, it's definitely very, very individual. Okay, so let's start by, and everybody's eyes are shaped differently, but for me, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to form some soft almond shapes. And what I mean by that is widening them in the center and then going ahead and squeezing them at the sides. And when I look at my portrait, I cannot see my entire eye, or rather iris. I can just see part of it. All right. Excellent. And then I'm going to plan in that pupil. And leave the highlight It's really intense looking. Don't worry, we're gonna just tone that down. But so up here at about this line, that's where we're gonna start to put in our eyebrows. But we're just gonna sort of mark where we expect them to be at this point. Okay. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take a look at this nose, and I'm gonna start thinking about nose shape. And what I know about my own nose is that I've got, that looks pretty crazy right now. Okay. Thing like drawing your own face and your own nose simultaneously, but we gotta make this nose come down, get those nostrils in there, and then my nose has quite the ball on the end of it. Not everybody's does, but if yours does, then you can sort of mark that out there and shade around that. All right. So from there I can see, okay, got some shadow to put in to just sort of block in where the eyebrow is. And we're gonna come back to that. We're keeping everything super loose. And I can come up, and with the eyes, I'm just gonna follow that shape and put in a little bit of lid. And the reason the eyes look so scary right now is because of the fact that we have not brought the lid down to sort of go over and touch those pupils. But we'll do that more when we develop the eyes. Okay. So I'm having this really funny experience where, like, I've already actually recorded this tutorial once, and I had the eyes not evenly spaced on the face, and I think the problem is that the camera is actually standing where I usually draw. But it just goes to show you how easy it is to have something kind of go differently than we expect. Okay, so I know my mouth is going to be approximately in this region. I'm just putting in a little bit of shading in that Cupid's bow, and I'm going to end up lightening that up later. Okay. So I'm going to draw out the mouth. And the top lip is probably going to be a little bit darker than the bottom lip, just owing to the way that light works. This part of the lip is going to come out just a little bit more. And we've got that bottom lip, which I think I'm making just a little bit too full there. Angelina Jolie wannabe. Okay. So right now I'm just going to shade that, and I'm noticing I'm going to bring that out just a little bit more until that looks right to me. Okay. Excellent. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to bring up the bottom line of that eye just a little bit, bring that up on this side, and I'm just making gradual adjustments as I see things. And then this is really my time where, like, I don't want things to be super developed. I just want to be checking proportions, sort of checking out where things are. All right. And then up here, I'm going to start to think about adding in some of that hair, just so that I have it as a kind of map. And then from there, you can do like a little shaping in the chin. Okay, so things are still looking really quite funny at this point, but you are not going to be scared of that. Not in your own drawing, not in my drawing, hopefully. So I see that hair swirls over there, just sort of letting it down, letting it down, letting it down. Okay, so let's fix up that eye situation. And you can see, I'm like, oh yes, we're gonna work on the eyes, and then I move around, and part of that is that I just don't want to define one part of my drawing more than another part right away. Like, I want to give myself some freedom and some flexibility to just keep making adjustments until I see that I've gotten things pretty much to where I need them to be. I'm really gonna just add some mass onto my head there, because a lot of times, like, we shortchange ourselves in terms of the amount of head that we have, but we've got a lot. We've got a direction change there in the hair. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take value all the way through there. And I think that I've got this not quite positioned correctly. And sometimes you're going to really have to kind of chase that symmetry with the eyes. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, but again, still, I'm just trying to just go back and forth and sort of work loosely over the whole drawing. So basically what I've done here is just continue to shade and shade and shade and make little adjustments and make changes. And you might notice I had to do a overhaul on my lips to be sure because those were too big. And so just if that happens to you, I want you not to be discouraged by anything. Just keep changing things gently until you feel like you've got them in a way that you like them. And the other thing is you don't necessarily have to be accurate. You can be having fun with this. And so to that end, I feel like, okay, I've created what is a fairly traditional portrait, and now I'm gonna have a little bit of fun. I decide, okay, I'm gonna just shade certain sections. I could do some other kind of a design. I could do a little bit of that erasing work that I was showing you in another piece. I could just leave it as one big scribble, kind of like that scribble. But I just want you to know that you can do whatever you want to with these pieces to have some fun and to be expressive as well. They're not just meant to show things literally. I think portraits especially are about starting to express parts of our identity, and then also being real with ourselves about the fact that we're never going to be able to truly express 100% of who we are, or who our sitter is, if you've chosen to draw a portrait of somebody besides yourself. So, all right, I hope you have fun and enjoy, and we'll talk more soon.